And in the 94th minute, Inter Miami and DC were all tied up until Campana hits this shot off the crossbar. Excuse me. What a bomb, not saving that keep. Sorry. Welcome back to another episode of Screamin Soccer. My name's Kevin Cho, and today I have plenty of coaches to yell and cry about. So let's not waste any time. Major League Soccer has a few gems when it comes to coaching. At the top of the list has to go to the current champs Columbus Crew with their coach Wilfred Nancy. A coach that is settling well in the league, who is pretty much, in my opinion, the top coach in the league at this moment, and has a lot of potential to even maybe coach outside of the league, even potentially, I don't know, just saying it, national team? I don't, just putting it out there. But this league also has a lot of, not so great coaches, and there are some coaches that you would think maybe should probably move on, or at least the organizations that are, you know, in charge of these coaches should probably look a little elsewhere this upcoming offseason. First one on the list is Nashville SC's Gary Smith, a coach that seems to not be able to push his team into the next gear. Oh, he just got fired? They literally just fired him? Perfect timing, Kevin, to bring up a coach that's having issues, and they just fired him. Awesome. Well, let me still cry about it a little bit. Nashville SC is a team that first looked like they had insane potential a few years back. They had a league MVP in Hani Mukhtar in 2022. There's national team players on this squad, and yet they are doomed to get past the first round in the playoffs under Gary Smith. You know, Gary Smith, to be fair, got this team once they were transitioning into becoming an expansion team. They started well and honestly did a really good run in the League's Cup last summer. But outside of that, it's been kind of a failure. And look, not shocking that Nashville actually let him go. By the time I was putting this episode together, he was still on the squad. I believe they won their last game under Gary, and still, you know, wasn't enough. I respect that. Nashville sits in 11th place at the moment outside of the playoffs. They know they have a squad that can make it deep. They know that. So I think that makes sense for them to move on from Gary, find someone new, and kind of hope that that fresh, you know, juice will push them further. And maybe we will see a Nashville that a lot of the fans are expecting to see. Maybe. Next up is a coach that honestly never proved himself ever as a coach, and has already had a chance and somehow got a second chance with another organization. And that is, of course, the famous Phil Neville. Phil coached David Beckham's Inter Miami pre-Messi era, and to sum it up, from 2021 to 2023, they were awful. And look, they had one okay season right in the middle there, and then the final season was really, really bad, and they had to let him go. If I'm remembering correctly, the first 12 matches in his final season in 2023, they were setting like a record worst start in the first 12 games in Major League Soccer. And finally, David said, "Phil, I love you, brother, but you gotta go." But somehow the Portland Timbers hired him. Okay, Portland is a squad that, again, like Nashville, has talent. Actually has young South American talent, not old South American talent, unlike Miami. And they should not be as low as they are on the table that they are right now. Portland is a squad that should be, you know, scaring teams to play. And yet, Phil Neville finds a way to make them look so poor. At least there's been a few chances, a few times, actually against one of those times against my squad. But there's been some moments where they're down by several goals and they came back. To be honest with you, that's a mentality thing with the squad, and I will put all the respect on the squad. I'm not going to say Phil made brilliant changes. I won't even give him credit for setting up a great scheme to come back. I believe that was the players on their own. And yet, this could be a squad that could miss the playoffs, and that might be the most disappointing squad to do so. Currently sitting in 11th in the West, the fans can't even really have too much hope, because with some coaches, you know, they have one bad season, but they have some historical good seasons. Phil really hasn't had one. At the top of his, you know, era, he had Inter Miami in 6th place and then bounced out of the first round of the playoffs. So really for Portland, they're kind of looking in this situation awkwardly, you know, disappointed and sad. And Phil signed a contract up to 2026. So another couple seasons of Phil Neville in Portland seems unlikely. That's in my opinion. Now, if they prove me wrong and they switched around, great. But historically, doesn't look good for Portland. It seems kind of useless talking about this coach, but at the same time, I think it is important because it's another club, I know, I'm about to shock you, that has quality players and are very much underperforming, and that is Gonzalo Pineda's Atlanta United. Gonzalo is another manager on the hot seat because he has Thiago Almada. He has great experience on that squad. A goalkeeper that, you know, he's on the older side, but in my opinion, an older goalkeeper is better. That's my opinion. I don't know. We could disagree there. But I think this squad should be, like, very, very good. Now, Thiago hasn't been great. Not like last season. But if you sat down, and these poor Atlanta fans, I feel you. If you sat down and watched an Atlanta game, it is not a fun time. And I know not fun times. Trust me. I know what it's like to not watch something fun. And Gonzalo has a really bad winning percentage record. I think for the 4 seasons he's been with Atlanta, he has like a 35% win percentage. Pretty poor, especially for the squads that he's had. But here's the thing. Here's the sliver of hope. His contract ends at the end of the 2024 season. So in my opinion, is it worth, you know, cutting him out now and then throwing in a manager with your team sitting in 12th outside of the playoff spot in the East and just kind of hoping you make playoffs and make a run? I don't know. It might just be better to just run the show, see how it goes, new manager after the playoffs, and, you know, see how that goes in a new era of whoever takes over. In my opinion, Marcelo Gallardo's free. Another Argentinian coach in Atlanta. It worked before. Why not? All right. I think that's enough stinky soccer talk and bad coaches. Let's have some fun. Let's go check out the goals all around the United States. Let's start in the NWSL, where Racing Louisville was taking on my Kansas City Current, and Emma Sears hits this one. I don't know if it was a cross or if it was a shot, but we're just gonna call it a shot. What a golazo off the post, Emma. Moving over to the USL, where we have Charlie Adams from a free kick. Tough angle, golazo. Charlie knew exactly where he wanted it. Bomba Charlie. Sticking to the USL, where Federico Varela looks at the keeper mistake and says, "Thank you very much, keeper." Golazo! Woohoo! Fede, stop it right now! Switching over to Major League Soccer, Cameron Harper hits this bomba! Silences the New York City FC fan base with an absolute rocket. Sticking with Major League Soccer, where Cole Bassett from the Colorado Rapids sees the keeper out and finishes it. He said, "Thank you very much, keeper." And in the 94th minute, Inter Miami and DC were all tied up until Campana hits this shot off the crossbar. Excuse me. What a bomb, not saving that, keep. Sorry. And last but not least, I couldn't help myself. Jake Davis, a defender, hits a bombazo. Trademark it. Bombazo Sporting Kansas City. They still lose, but what a hit, Jake. What a hit. And that's all we got for this week. Let me know what coaches should be on the hot seat as well. I know there's several. And out of the coaches I named, who do you see leaving early? Let me know your thoughts. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.